Underage persons entering licensed premises. An underage person accompanied by his or her parent, guardian, or spouse of legal drinking age may be on any licensed premise. An unaccompanied underage person may enter a Class A alcohol beverage license premises to buy items other than alcohol beverages. The underage person may not stay in the premises after the purchase. An unaccompanied underage person may also enter a licensed premises if he or she is an employee, resident, lodger, or boarder on the premises, or he or she enters to do business other than the amusement or the purchase or consumption of alcohol and beverages, or he or she enters to buy food in a restaurant whose principal business is serving food, or the premises is a hotel, drugstore, grocery, holding a Class B licensed vessel, private tennis or soccer club, ski chalet, golf course or clubhouse, racetrack, licensed under Chapter 562, indoor or outdoor volleyball court, curling club, billiard center having 12 or more billiards tables, privately owned fishing business that is open to the public for a fee, or a car operated on a railroad, or regularly established athletic field, or a county or municipally owned public facility as defined in Section 125, 51, 5B, Wisconsin statutes of the statutes, or a center for visual or performing arts, or the premises is in a state park or forest or a park owned by an agricultural society receiving state aid. The premises has a Class B beer or Class B liquor license, and the underage person is there to do business at an auction or flea market. In this case, the underage person may not enter any room where alcohol beverages are sold, furnished, or possessed. The premises has a Class B beer or Class B liquor license, and the underage person is in a room where no alcohol beverages are sold, furnished, served, or consumed by anyone when the underage person is present. This applies only if the municipality adopts an ordinance allowing it. The local law enforcement agency must authorize it in writing. The presence of underage persons on the date of the authorization. A separate authorization is necessary for each date on which underage persons will be on the premises. Section 125.073AB, Wisconsin statutes. The underage person is on a Class B or Class B licensed premises on a date specified by the licensee when no alcohol beverages are consumed, sold, or given away. The licensee, the agent named on the license, if a corporation, or a person with an operator's license must be in the premises unless all alcohol beverages are in locked storage. The licensee must notify the local law enforcement agency in advance of when underage persons will be on the premises. Section 125.073A10, Wisconsin statutes. The underage person enters and remains in a dance hall or banquet or hospitality room attached to a Class B licensed premises for the purpose of attending a banquet, reception, dance, or other similar event. The underage person is at least 18 years old and is working under a contract with a licensee, permittee, or corporate agent to provide entertainment for customers on the premises. The premises is issued a temporary Class B picnic beer license, and the licensee is authorized to permit underage persons on the premises by the official or body of the municipality that issued the license, or the premises is licensed as a temporary Class B wine-only license, and the licensee is authorized to permit unaccompanied underage persons acting as the designated drivers who are providing a means of identification by the licensee, such as a wristband, to be on the licensee's premise. Note: when the purpose of the above exemptions, that is bowling, dining, recreation, etc., can be accomplished without the underage person being in the bar room or any other areas where alcohol beverages are sold or consumed, the underage person may not enter or remain in such areas. No retail licensee may permit an underage person not accompanied by a parent, guardian, or spouse of legal drinking age to enter any part of the licensed premises for any purpose except for certain exceptions. You should demand proof of age of anyone entering the premises who appears to be under the legal drinking age. Wisconsin residents may prove age with either a valid Wisconsin identification card or a pictured Wisconsin driver's license. You or your employee should require anyone who has shown proof of legal drinking age to sign an ID register book if the person's age is in question. Record the date of purchase, the identification used, the address, and the signature of the purchaser in the book. The book should be kept on the premises and available for inspection by any peace officer. Section 125.077, Wisconsin statutes. Sales and service of alcohol beverages to underage persons. An underage person accompanied by a parent, guardian, or spouse of legal drinking age may be sold or served alcohol with beverages in any licensed premises. Sections 125.071 Wisconsin statutes. Possession of alcohol beverages by underage persons. An underage person may not possess alcoholic beverages anywhere unless accompanied by a parent, guardian, or spouse of legal drinking age. Section 125.074b Wisconsin statute. This does not apply to the underage persons employed by the following types of licensees or permittees in the course of this employment. Section 125.074 BM Wisconsin statutes. Brewers, beer wholesalers, liquor wholesalers, facilities for the production of alcohol fuel, retail licensees or permittees under the provisions of sections 125.322 and 125.682 Wisconsin statutes, laws covering operators' licenses, or for the delivery of an unopened containers to the home or vehicle of a customer. Campuses. If the underage person is at least 18 years of age and is under the immediate supervision of a person of legal drinking age. A question I get asked a lot about is non-alcoholic beer and what age it is to purchase it. Here's what the state says about it. Non-alcoholic beer, sections 125.02 Wisconsin statutes, classifies alcohol beverages as those beverages containing 0.05% or more alcohol by volume. Beverages that contain less than 0.05% alcohol by volume are not classified as an alcoholic beverage. Thus, these non-alcohol beverages are not regulated by Chapter 125. They are to be treated the same as any other non-carbonated waters and sodas and may be sold to anyone regardless of age. These beverages should not be confused with those labeled low alcohol, which generally contain 3.2% alcohol and are regulated by Chapter 125 as being alcohol beverages. Employment of minors. Minors under 14 years of age may not be employed where alcohol beverages are sold, except that minors as young as 12 may be employed at such establishments if their parents own the business. Minors 14 years of age may be employed where alcohol beverages are stored, sold, or served if they are not serving, selling, dispensing, or giving away alcohol beverages. This applies to all places licensed to sell alcohol beverages, including stores, service stations, bars, and restaurants. Minors may not be employed or appear as musicians, singers, performers, or dancers at roadhouses, dance halls, nightclubs, taverns, or similar places, except minors 16 or 17 years of age may be employed or appear as musicians in a hall on a Friday or Saturday or any other day not followed by a school day or before midnight on Sunday, if the hall was rented to celebrate a special event such as a wedding, holidays, birthday, or anniversary. Minors may be employed or appear at dances held solely for minors, conducted by private clubs or civic organizations where admission is limited to the club membership or by club invitation and the general public is excluded. Other laws relating to underage persons. No one may falsely represent that he or she is of legal drinking age to ask for or obtain alcohol beverages in any licensed premises. Section 125.074 Wisconsin statute. No one may possess or consume alcohol beverages in a public, parochial, or private school through 12th grade or in a vehicle owned by, rented, or consigned to a school or while participating in a school activity without the express written permission of the school administration. Permission may not be given to underage persons. A licensed alcohol beverage retailer may bring a civil action against a person who violates the state's underage drinking law if the following conditions are met. The conduct must occur on the retailer's premises. The retailer must mail notice of the intent to bring action to the underage person or the underage person's parent, as applicable, at least 15 days prior to filing the action. The retailer must not have been convicted of, received a citation for, or have been charged with violation of the underage drinking law. The retailer must have reported the suspected conduct to the law enforcement at or near the time when the conduct was first discovered. This provision does not apply if the underage person was employed by or assisting a law enforcement agency in carrying out enforcement to determine compliance with or investigating potential violation of the prohibition on underage persons in licensed premises. A retailer prevailing in the civil action shall be awarded $1,000 in damages and the cost of bringing the civil action. Section 125.0744 Wisconsin statutes. Penalties for violations. Alcohol beverage licensees permitting unaccompanied underage persons to unlawfully enter the premises are subject to a forfeiture of not more than $500. Section 125.073 Wisconsin statutes. Unaccompanied underage person unlawfully entering a licensed premises is subject to a forfeiture of not less than $250 nor more than $500. Suspension of his or her motor vehicle operating privilege as provided under Section 343.306B1 Wisconsin statutes, participation in a supervised work program, or a combination of these penalties. A person selling or furnishing alcohol beverages to an unaccompanied underage person is subject to a forfeiture of not more than $500 if the person has not committed a previous violation within 30 months of the violation, nor more than $500 or imprisoned for not more than 30 days, or both for a subsequent offense within 30 months of the violation. Section 125.071 Wisconsin statutes. If a violation occurs on licensed premises, detected by means of an undercover underage person employed by or assisting a law enforcement agency, only the individual responsible for providing the alcohol beverages to the underage person may be issued a citation for or charged with the violations. An underage person misrepresenting his or her age to obtain alcohol beverages is subject to the same penalties we just described. Anyone unlawfully possessing or consuming alcohol beverages on a school premises, in a school vehicle, or while participating in a school activity is subject to a forfeiture of not more than $200. Section 125.092D Wisconsin statutes, except for the disposition of the proceedings against an underage person shall be provided by Statute 48.344 and 125.074 C and D Wisconsin statutes. The alcohol beverage license of any person committing a violation of Section 125.071 Wisconsin statute shall be suspended for not more than 3 days if a second violation is committed within 12 months of a previous violation, not less than 3 days for not more than 10 days if a third violation is committed within 12 months of 2 previous violations, not less than 15 days nor more than 30 days if a fourth violation is committed within 12 months after committing 3 other violations. False ID cards. Penalties. Anyone other than a person authorized by Section 25.085 Wisconsin statutes or Section 343.50 Wisconsin statutes who makes, alters, or duplicates an official identification ID card, provides an official ID card to an underage person, or knowingly provides other documentation to an underage person claiming that the underage person is of legal drinking age may be fined not less than $300, nor more than $1,250, or imprisoned not less than 10 days, nor more than 30 days, or both. Any underage person who does any of the following may be penalized for a first violation: a forfeiture of $300 to $1,250, suspension of the person's driving privilege, participation in a supervised work program, or any combination of these penalties. Intentionally carries an official ID card not legally issued to him or her, an official ID card obtained under false pretenses, or an official ID card which has been duplicated to give false information. Makes, alters, or duplicates an official ID card, gives false information applying for an official ID card, intentionally carries an ID card or the other documentation showing that he or she is of legal drinking age, knowing that the documentation is false. Provides to another underage person an official ID card or other documentation claiming that the other underage person of legal drinking age, knowing that the documentation is false. Any person who violates these for money or other consideration is guilty of a Class 1 felony. Civil liability for retaining ID. Civil liability for retaining proofs of age, Section 125.039 Wisconsin statutes. No person who holds a license or permit and no employee of such a person is civilly liable for retaining a document presented as proof of age for a reasonable length of time in a good faith effort to determine whether the person who presented the document is an underage person, or to notify law enforcement of a suspected violation of carrying a false ID. As we've discussed numerous times throughout this course, the licensee is responsible for the conduct of what happens in an establishment. Having a liquor license is not a right, but a privilege. And to maintain that privilege, the establishment has to maintain that the laws are being followed, or the following can happen: suspension or revocation of licenses on complaint of the department. A duly authorized employee of the department may file a complaint with the clerk of circuit court for the jurisdiction in which the premises of a person holding a license issued under this chapter is situated, alleging that one or more of the following about a license: that the licensee keeps or maintains a disorderly or riotous, indecent, or improper house; That the licensee has sold alcohol beverages to known habitual drunkards. That the licensee has failed to maintain the premises in accordance with the standards of sanitation prescribed by the Department of Health Services. That the licensee has permitted known criminals or prostitutes to loiter on the licensed premises. That the licensee does not possess the qualifications required under this chapter to hold the license. That the licensee has been convicted of manufacturing, distributing, or delivering a controlled substance or controlled substance analog under Statute 961.411 of possessing with intent to manufacture, distribute, or deliver a controlled substance or controlled substance analog under Statute 961.411M, or of possessing with intent to manufacture, distribute, or deliver, or of manufacturing and distributing or delivering a controlled substance or controlled substance analog under a substantially similar federal law or a substantially similar law of another state. That the licensee has been convicted of possessing of any materials related to Statute 961.65 with intent to manufacture methamphetamine under the section of under a federal law or a law of another state that is substantially similar to Statute 961.65. That the licensee knowingly allows another person who is on the premises for which the license under this chapter is issued to possess with the intent to manufacture, distribute, or deliver, or to manufacture, distribute, or deliver a controlled substance or controlled substance analog. That the licensee knowingly allowed another person who is on the premises for which the license under this chapter is issued to possess any of the material listed in Statute 961.65 with the intent to manufacture methamphetamine. As we stated earlier, each local municipality has its own rules and laws pertaining to alcohol beverage sales. In the next submodule, please click on the municipality that you're working in and read the laws and rules. You can also access them anytime by coming back to this website and going to the Help menu and clicking on the municipalities link. This concludes Module 5. Let's do a little recap. In this module, you learned about Wisconsin state liquor laws that cover refilled liquor bottles, corkage fees, and inspection of a licensed premises. You also learned about underage persons entering a licensed premises, sales and service of alcoholic beverages to underage persons, and possession of alcohol by underage persons and possession of alcohol beverages by an underage person. You also learned about the employment of minors, other laws relating to underage persons, the penalties for violations, and the suspension or revocation of a license. You may now take the Module 5 quiz.